the creatures of Philadelphia. What music they make. Hello, welcome to New Game. Who dis? Who is this zoftig, pale man shouting at you? My name is Jared Logan. I am tonight's interim storyteller for a bloody, dangerous, tragic game of Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Guys, Vampire the Masquerade is a game that is rated R. Parents strongly cautioned, okay? I'm so happy to be back. You can see I'm really ready to get into the action part of the game. I have a haircut. I look totally different. I'm turning over a new lease on life. We are going to get into the game with these players, and we are going to see what horrible choices they make and what tragic consequences result, because that is what Vampire the Masquerade is all about. But first, let me introduce. Who are these people? Let's find out. First, as Dr. Malcolm Webster, a Malkavian vampire. Their bloodline is polluted by madness. He's looking for a cure, perhaps, to his condition. And he is a incredible GM in his own right. Please welcome Troy LaValle, everybody.
Oh, hello. Hello, I'm very excited. I thought everyone would be drinking wine tonight, so I got a nice bottle of red, and now I realize that I'm going to be the one with stained teeth at the end of the night. Because
I went with White Claw because I'm watching my figure.
Right. Well, 100 calories a pop. And you can drink 50 of them. They're great.
You know me, Troy, total millennial over here.
That's what they say about you.
Oh, hey, here's another member of the Glass Cannon Network. He is playing Charles Big Badger Kinsel, a caitiff who wants to destroy himself in battle, question mark. Please welcome Skid Mauer, everybody.
Hello. Hello, and a fine good evening to all of you.
Yes, in cosplay tonight, I see. Thank you.
A little bit.
Thank you for your dedication.
Sure. Just takes a little bit of discipline and a hirsute family background.
Yes.
And
you just grew that.
I did.
Also, it's not cosplay at all. It's real.
This is real. I just got back from the ballpark. Just got back from Citi Field. Mets won in the 8th.
Well, it looks great, and I would consider keeping it even after you're done playing Vampire.
Thank you. Even though you said before the show that I look like Gene Shalit, which is definitely true.
I can think of nothing more terrifying than a vampire that looks like Gene Shalit.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
No, just kill me.
Hey, let's introduce this next player. She is playing Petra. I'm not going to get the last name right, and that is by design. Petra Nazhisny, a vampire that is trying to become a figurehead of the art world and created a beautiful installation last time. Please welcome Sydney Emanuel.
Thank you. And I hope I'm saying the last name correctly. I think it's Nyeshny, but somebody I'm sure is going to go, nope. And that's fine, because you know what? We're all having fun here.
That's right. Please do correct us on all pronunciations. People love that. If they post videos online, they really like it to have their pronunciations corrected.
And I'm going to fix it next time around for sure. So keep telling me.
Skid grew a full Gene Shalit mustache, but you scared yourself really badly, and now your hair is quite light.
Yeah. I just thought about the note we left the intro to the game off last time and how I completely built the wrong character for this adventure, and I freaked myself out so bad that I turned my hair white. So.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a little bit of a fish out of water story. How does an art world, an artiste hunt down criminals and destroy them for the government that she unlives under? We're going to find out. I'm going to bring in a vampire veteran. I love this actress's role-playing, everything she does. And she is playing Valeska, another Toreador. These Sydney and this player are playing Toreador. But Valeska, she has inherited her father's cult. And she doesn't have followers. She has worshippers. Please welcome Nora Ibrahim.
Hello.
Welcome, guys. Hello, Nora. Do you feel like your character is going to have trouble with the mission at hand, or is she enough predator to get this done?
Definitely enough predator, but also could have somebody do it for you. You know, like why get your own hands dirty?
Exactly. Vampire is all about delegation of authority, really. At the end of the day.
I've got 3 dots in that.
It's also a game where there are so many backgrounds and advantages. I wouldn't be surprised if you opened a book and would say, see, delegation of authority. Yes, you all have allies, contacts, retainers that you can draw upon, and please do during the course of play. Let's talk a little bit, because we have a couple of newbies, about the core mechanic while you're playing. Okay, everybody should have a big pool of 10-sided die. That's you. Everything you roll in Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition is done with 10-sided dice. Yes, it looks like that. Thank you, Nora. The official Vampire dice are really the best thing to use. You're welcome, Paradox Interactive. And that's really the way to do it, because they make it a little easier. But you're going to have 2 types. You're going to have like a basic die for, every dot in a skill or an attribute equals 1 die. And then you're going to have a hunger die, a die of a different color. And that reflects your vampire's hunger. Everybody should go ahead and note their hunger stat on their sheet right now. Their hunger stat will start at 1. You've all fed recently enough that you're only kind of... A vampire never quite gets rid of their hunger. They always kind of float at 1, but it could get worse as our game goes on, and then you'll have to feed.
They're kind of like dogs. They're never full. They just never know when to stop.
They are kind of like dogs.
There's always snacks.
Yeah. They are. I mean, each vampire has a beast inside them that is never sated. That's in the book. So here's how this works. Anytime I call for a roll, you'll usually add a attribute like strength, manipulation, or resolve to a skill like brawl, intimidation, or awareness, and you'll roll as many dice as dots from that attribute and skill. Every die that comes up as a 6 or above is a success. Most of the time I will tell you how many successes you need to succeed, and if you roll under that number of successes, if you don't get that many dice that are 6 or above, you fail. Sometimes I'll let you succeed at a cost, meaning it makes more sense in the story for you to actually do it, but something has gone wrong. If you roll a failure, but your hunger die, or hunger dice, if you get a little hungrier, come up as 1s, you have rolled a bestial failure, and you are subject to one of your clan's compulsions, normally, or one of their weaknesses, perhaps. For example, the Malkavians have madness in their blood, and so Dr. Malcolm Webster's delusions might come to the fore. If you get a critical is rolled when you roll a pair of 10s on any roll, and instead of counting as 1 success each, those 10s count as 2 successes each. So the 2 10s count as 4 successes, which is very good, because one of the toughest rolls I might give you would be like, you need 5 successes to do this. So if you've rolled 2 10s, you've already rolled 4 of those successes that you might need. Thank you. That's what they look like on the vampire dice. And then if you roll a critical, but one of your hunger dice comes up as a 10, that is called a messy critical. And you do something horribly vampiric. As a predator, you must dominate your foe. You must dominate those around you in some way. Often your clan compulsion will come to the fore if that happens. The best
rule in the game, as I was reading the book, I was like, that's my favorite rule, the messy critical.
I will let you in on a little secret that I have found to be true, and I kind of learned from other great game masters. The vampire game really all takes place around that hunger and that humanity stat you have there. If you break some of your chronicle tenets, or you break some of your convictions, I may ask you to take a stain to your humanity. And you'll see on the sheet I've given you, there's a little spot for your stains. If your stains ever hit, because they go from right to left, as opposed to your humanity, which goes from left to right. If your stains ever meet your humanity, you may start to lose a point of humanity. For a one-shot, kind of one story like this, I'm just going to have to work really hard to make sure that happens. So let me get to work on that right now. Does anybody have any questions?
No
Then
questions.
we should talk about giveaways.
Oh, giveaways.
We should talk about giveaways.
Yes, our good buddies at World of Darkness hooked it up again. Congrats to the winners last week, but we're doing some more. We're going to be giving away a physical core rulebook along with a set of these sexy dice. And then we're also going to do 3 digital copies of this core rulebook, which is, as I believe I said last week, a work of art. It is really unlike any core rulebook I've read. The closest thing I've read to it is I recently read Merc Borg, which you can read in one sitting.
I just read it
Borg
today.
is amazing.
It's
so
the craziest rulebook I've ever read. This is the closest thing to it, but it's a lot chunkier and larger. We're giving away 1 physical along with the dice, 3 digital. Thank you, World of Darkness. Check out the chat. Brennan, our good buddy Brennan, is going to put up how to enter pretty soon.
Yeah, and guys, if you played Vampire back in the day, you really have to play 5th edition. The hunger mechanic changes everything, and it makes the game interesting in a whole new way. Are we ready to begin our
I'm
scenario?
so ready. I'm so ready.
Yes.
I watched the Vampire, the Tom Cruise movie. What is it?
Yes,
Interview with the Vampire?
Interview with the
Vampire.
Vampire. I watched that 2 days ago. I watched the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula today.
I watched that a few days
pumped
ago.
right now. Yeah.
Cindy, I think
love
you
Interview.
mentioned it last. I think you mentioned it last game, so I had to watch it.
Oh, the Coppola movie? Mm-hmm. I actually didn't. I mentioned A Girl Walks Alone at Night, but I do
sorry.
love that. But I do love that movie as well.
Yeah.
I mentioned it because I have only
Troy
seen
sorry,
it.
Troy.
Eh.
And Troy and I, we were both in a stage production of Dracula, not the same one, different ones, but we both did that.
I don't want to say we're experts on the field, but I
we're
think
as close as you can get in this modern day.
try to keep up. That's all I'm saying. Try to keep up.
Yes, and I mentioned Blackula meets Blackenstein, which is what tonight's adventure is based on.
Now I'm excited.
It would be, that would be exciting, and I wish that was true. I will say Blackula is quite a good B movie, and people should check it out. Okay, let's have a very brief recap, and I mean the briefest. This coterie, Dr. Webster, Charles Kinson, Petra and Valeska, you have been a Regency coterie. The Prince of Philadelphia, Carlisle, disappeared recently under mysterious circumstances, perhaps called by the beckoning to the Middle East to fight in the Gehenna War, a strange sort of phenomenon that is affecting elder vampires. They feel supernatural forces beckoning them to the Middle East to fight in an ancient war. So Carlisle was out. He was gone. His office was empty. There in the Blue Horizon boxing venue where Elysium is held by the Camarilla here in Philadelphia. The Camarilla, if you didn't watch episode 1, are sort of the vampire government. They make sure all the vampire laws are followed. So with Carlisle gone, this coterie was sort of a Regency coterie. They were sort of helping make sure that all the trains ran on time and that the city sort of stayed together and didn't devolve into total anarchy. However, a new prince has been chosen by the Camarilla. Her name is Domina Hu. She came in and made a big impression by immediately calling essentially a blood hunt on all anarchs in the city. In Philadelphia, they've had a problem with refugees from other cities, vampire refugees from other cities, particularly Pittsburgh, where there has been a Second Inquisition spike of activity. And there are now too many unregistered vampires, non-citizens of the Camarilla, flooding into the city of Philadelphia. And so every vampire that was attendant at Elysium was told the following. They were told that they have 48 hours to bring in as many unregistered vampires as they can. And if they do well, if they bring in illegal vampires, staked or destroyed, they will get tickets to the city's prime domains, such as South Street, where a lot of the bars are. It's like a prime hunting ground. Or, let's see, University City, another prime hunting ground where there are a lot of young college students. Delectable, really young, vibrant blood. Yes. Lots of different kind of emotions going on with those young people. Delicious. Stakes staking vampires is worth more than dusting them in this case, because we don't want to disturb the Masquerade. It's in the title of the game, everybody. Domina Hu, the new prince, made it very clear that if you violate the Masquerade during this blood hunt, you will be on the lists of criminals that are going to be hunted down next.
Of course, one of my secrets is Masquerade Preacher.
Yes, let's hope nobody finds out about that. And so you have a list of kindred who are not to be hunted, who are officially given asylum by the Camarilla here in Philadelphia. You all see your name on the list, and your coterie is exiting the Blue Horizon Boxing Club in the wee hours of the morning, sometime long after 4 a.m., but not quite 5 a.m. The party's over, everybody. Starting in 48 hours. Starting for the next 48 hours, you're going to have to try to find these unregistered vampires and prove yourselves as a coterie, or your hunting ground will be taken away and you will be subject to the whim of other more powerful kindred. As you are exiting the Elysium, and you know the party decorations are kind of on the floor now. The blood dolls that have been fed on are lying dead in the corner, starting to collect flies. The party is well and truly over. I'll allow you to discuss what your strategy will be for proving your coterie's worth to this new prince. Or perhaps you hate this new prince and you want to rebel against her. I want you to know that it's open-ended and all options are on the table. And so now I turn the game over to your characters. You are exiting the Blue Horizon. It's a wet night in Philadelphia.
What time of night is it? Early
it's like
evening?
4:45 in the morning, and you have to actually get back to your haven soon to slumber, and then you can begin your mission the next night. But you have enough time to kind of discuss your strategy if you'd like.
Yeah, so maybe
Have
we
you all
make
had
eyes
the
at each other. Yeah.
Totally. Have you all had the pleasure of meeting the new prince?
No, I've not met the new prince. She seems like a little bit of a hoity-toity, if you ask me. I don't care for that kind of attitude in some sort of royalty fancies themselves. I don't know. Don't listen to me. I'm just a big badger.
I
Yet.
looked deeply into her eyes, but she did not see me.
That's what I'm talking about, is that kind of attitude that drives me up the wall.
Would any of us storyteller have known who she was before she was appointed prince, or is she just fresh out of the water, new to the scene?
What a very excellent question. Valeska, you might know if you can give me an intelligence plus politics roll, difficulty 3. You know that the Camarilla assigned her to Philadelphia, which means there were like some archons present at tonight's Elysium, sort of the judges and executioners of the Camarilla. So to many, she seems like a stranger, new to the city, but an intelligence plus politics might tell you otherwise. I need 3 successes.
Well, don't have any points in politics, so let's see how this goes.
Okay. If you have no points in politics, I think we take away a success because you were untrained in this skill.
Gross.
Can you use
So-
a blood? Isn't there like blood points that you can use to give yourself a 1 die boost?
Absolutely. So, Skid, anytime you guys want to use a power, or most powers, or if you want to do what you're describing, which is called a blood surge, you're going to roll 1 die. If it comes up 6 or above, your hunger doesn't go up. If it's 5 or below, your hunger goes up, but you as a level as generation 12 or 13 vampires, you'll gain 2 dots temporarily to anything you want to add it to, and that includes intelligence, strength, manipulation, anything where you want to pump that blood into.
Nice.
Okay, so I rolled 2 successes out of the 2 die that I rolled. So I will use that extra die to see if that is 3 successes.
Oh, nice.
Ah.
Did you have to roll a
Nicely
hunger
done.
die?
I mean, well, one of them was always a hunger die, right?
Okay.
Yeah, one of them's
Yeah.
always a hunger die until you get hungrier, then it'll be 2 hunger die, 3 hunger die, etc.
That's cool.
So You rolled 3 successes, but you were untrained. So do we take away 1 success? Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I still have 2.
Valeska, a thought still comes to you, which is that a very smart question, and if you can figure out more about her background or who she is, you may be able to work this game to your advantage, right? Because she's giving you a quest, and maybe you don't have to fulfill it if you know a little something about her, and you wonder who are her enemies. They would probably know something about her.
Would that be something I could use Maula to figure out?
Yes. Who do you describe as your Mala? You have a mentor?
Yes. I would say she is a woman that is pretty discreet, is within that cult that I was embraced in, but kind of keeps low, but has been my mentor during my life.
Okay, so I would say that your Mala, that's always like within the kindred. So there are other vampires in the blood cult that you are part of, and you may return to your blood cult, and we will roll your Mala plus some other dice, and we'll find out if they can pinpoint perhaps who the prince's enemies are, or perhaps what her background is. Maybe your mentor knows that.
Okay. I think we should.
And I'm going to give your mentor a name too.
Ooh, yes.
You got it, right? We should have a name, right? Your mentor's name is, let's call her Elena Ricci.
Ooh, that's good.
Good mentor
I like
name.
that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wonder if she's related to Christina Ricci.
She is. Thank you, Skid, for saying that.
The similar aesthetics, yes.
Beautiful, dark hair, big eyes, childlike face, and Elena Ricci, Valeska. Let's say that she is a Toreador as well. Who is your sire?
My sire. Her? It could be, yes. Let's say that.
It doesn't have to be. If you're like, no, that's not right.
No, it makes sense.
Okay, so Elena's your sire. You think perhaps you should go talk to her. She's been in the city a long time. Maybe she knows something about this Who woman who has taken over the city.
Yes, I did say that my sire was the high priestess of the cult when I was
well, then it shall be.
Still alive, yes. So
okay.
So it would make sense that she would know.
Played by Christina Ricci, Elena Ricci is the high priestess of the blood cult that you belong to.
Wow.
Let's see that fan art.
There you go. It's so easy. It draws itself.
Yes. So does anybody else have anything they want to discuss, or any thoughts on how to kind of solve this or achieve this this objective that the prince has handed to you?
Dr. Malcolm Webster will look at the group and say, in the movie version of this hunt, our coterie would be the underdogs. We are ill-equipped as a team for something like this. Let's look at the names. Do we have like a list of the names, or did she list everything and we just had to record it ourselves?
Yes, you were given one list. Each coterie was given one list, and at the bottom of the list it says, please destroy this after memorizing. Because of course the Camarilla does not want a bunch of a list of vampires just sort of floating around. And it will be a masquerade breach if you do not destroy it. That's all on the bottom of the list.
Sure.
And so there's a list of 25 kindred. You see all of your names on it. You see a couple other names you recognize. Names like Jonas Wolf, the principal of the faith, who sort of is the Mennonite vampire preacher that you met earlier. Piper Hendricks, the sheriff, who has sort of some of the other kindred in the city criticize his sort of laissez-faire approach to law enforcement here. You see names that perhaps people you didn't bump into at Elysium. Ingrid Tennant is one of them. Another is Rebecca Mortimer. You happen to know, with no role, that she's a member of the Red Goblet Society, the kindred who kind of feed the other kindred of the Camarilla at events like this.
Mm-hmm. And who are we hunting?
You're hunting any vampire who's not on the list.
Oh, so we've got to seek them out without. It's not like here are the suspects. We just got to find these people.
Right.
Yeah.
You've been
Smoke
given
'em
a
out.
list of who has immunity. Now you have to find out who's out there who's, spitting on the laws of the traditions of the Camarilla.
Right.
We're bouncers at a club, essentially. Like, oh, sorry, I don't see your name on here.
Right. So we should
that
go in character. But we should go to the most favorable hunting grounds, or perhaps the second most favorable hunting grounds. They will be hungry if they've lingered here long.
Right, Doctor. It's what they least expect.
That's a good idea. Also, Valiska, while the new whatever was coming down the stairs, I was making my rounds through the crowd. It doesn't seem like everybody is on same page. So possibly we have friends in other places who might want to work with us or possibly not work against us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For whatever it's worth, I want to find out more about this Domina who.
All good plans. I will say that time is passing. Dawn is coming soon, and so you can kind of carry them out after you have slumbered. And so do you share a haven, or do you all currently kind of haven in your own sort of little bolt holes around the city?
I think I haven separately. Yeah, I think I would have my cool penthousey apartment.
Very good.
Yeah, I have a specific idea for my haven, for Charles's haven. So I think he was always kind of close to the groundskeepers in Brooklyn, like his big good drinking buddies, and he's just sort of had this affinity for people who work grounds and everything. And when he got to Philadelphia, he was just like, I want to find some really out of the way, nondescript place that no one will pay attention to, where people like that work. It's just like somewhere to be quiet. It's just like to be close to that. So he found something on the northeast side of town, and it had a very unassuming name. It's 4 Seasons Total Landscaping. It's just like no one ever thinks to come here for any reason.
Yes.
Yes.
So here in 2019, he's just like, he feels
Well done, sir.
safe as
And yet-
houses.
and yet it has an aura of evil about it.
And there is like some sort of like portent of evil about
An
it
aura
that he
of
can't put his finger on.
corruption permeates this nondescript landscaping business.
Somehow, yes, it's true.
Very good. And so you all head off to your
Yeah.
individual havens, and slowly the light in the east goes from black to blue to robin's egg, and you find yourself. Let's ask, for example, Dr. Malcolm Webster. Where do you haven?
So I took the merit middle class. So he has some money from his job as a prison psychoanalyst.
That's where the big money is. If you're in,
they always
therapy.
say once you get your PhD, you definitely want to work as a prison therapist.
That's how you pay off those loans.
Right. So
Right.
he's got a little pied a terre in right outside of Rittenhouse Square. It is a 1-bedroom with an office, kind of a junior one, and but it's very well appointed, and so he is there, leather, mahogany, as far as the eye can see.
Great. And where does he sleep when the sun comes up? Where does he sleep? Like in this little pied-à-terre?
Yeah, where do these people sleep? Do they just sleep in beds, or is it like last time
They
I wanted
could.
to have a
You
scotch and you were
can.
like, you can't have a scotch?
No. Perhaps you are. Well, you can't have a scotch.
I know.
No,
so
of
do I
course
sleep
not. You would
in
vomit.
bed? Or
You
am
can
I-
drink the blood of somebody who just drank a bunch of scotch.
That is true.
That's another
Yes.
one of my.
Game.
So I took the flaw addiction. This is really complicated. I'm starting to learn the game between last week and this week.
I did too. I took that too.
My addiction isn't to a drug, but I have to feed on someone who took the drug. And so I chose the drug lithium. So I imagine he's prescribing his patients, his depressive patients lithium and then feeding off them. There's no way you can play this game PG. It is a dark, fucked up game,
Yeah.
but that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's feeding them the lithium so he can feed off of them. Anyways, Yeah.
This game is gonna hurt your feelings, snowflakes. Sorry, you're triggered. I'm the biggest snowflake that's ever lived. Okay, so
Please don't hurt our feelings.
Yes, please don't.
Can I sleep in a bed? A trundle?
Absolutely, you could sleep in a bed, and you've probably sunproofed your pied-à-terre on Rittenhouse Square, right there in Center City in Philadelphia. Look at you. You're upper middle class.
Well,
and I will just describe that Dr. Malcolm Webster, he lays down in his beautiful bed, silk sheets.
Oh, only the finest silk.
He tries to maybe curl up like a human would. Perhaps roll around a little bit like he did when he was alive to feel like someone's sleeping. But the fact is that as soon as that sliver of sunlight comes over the eastern skyscrapers, he just dies. And there is a dead body lying in bed as the hours tick by. The skin is porcelain white. Nothing moves, nothing shifts. His eyes are glassed over. And then sooner than you think. For you, it is like a moment. The sun sinks in the west, and evening is upon us again.
It's like anesthesia.
You must roll a rouse roll. All of you must roll a rouse roll. Roll one die and tell me if you get a 6 or above.
Success.
Oh, no. I know, a big blank on the
You
vampire.
get one more
Master.
hunger, right? If you don't rouse properly.
That's correct.
Oh, no. No.
Dr. Malcolm Webster, did you fail?
A blank is a fail, I'm assuming.
That's a fail.
That's right.
Oh, no. Oh, I
and
was
how
still...
about you? How about
upset.
you, Petra?
Big ol' fail.
Oh.
All right.
Whoa,
Please
we
increase
hunger.
your hunger to 2. And on any dice pool that you roll, please roll 2 hunger die. How did Valeska do?
I succeeded.
Very good. And it
Nice.
sounds like Charles is keeping his beast under control. And so now we can kind of start our investigations. We are hunting other vampires. The hunters are hunted tonight, everybody. And let's start because I'm going to assume that Valeska went back to her blood cult. Let's see, Grant, if I can ask you the map of the city that we've created.
Ooh.
And see if we can figure out. I think I know exactly where the blood cult hides.
Coming right up, Jared.
Yeah.
Ooh, did you hand draw this, Grant?
Yes. Grant hand drew this. He actually carved it.
Scrimshaw. I was wondering. I was going to ask if this was
Yeah.
actually Scrimshaw.
Oh, that's good.
So here are
Scrimshaw.
many different neighborhoods and many different locations, and I am looking, and I think that perhaps your cult operates out of a museum. Would that be okay with you?
Oh, yeah. What about that
Oh,
Museum of
yes.
Medical Oddities?
Yeah.
The mooter.
Yeah.
You gotta
That
say it like a
Yes.
weird Philly person. Museum. They say weird because they know how to
Muta.
talk.
Yeah, you guys, you got a little cult going in the Muter Museum, and
I wish Joe was there.
I wish Joe was here.
there couldn't be a better atmosphere for
some water.
cult activity. Deep in the halls, deep in the confines of the Muter Museum, perhaps down in the cellars where they keep their, their overflow. You guys carry on your religious rituals among bodies and mutated organs and things like that. That is actually quite near Dr. Malcolm Webster's haven. But let's talk to Elena Ricci. You find her softly. Let's go as full gothic as we can. You find her softly caressing the skull of a long dead person and contemplating death.
Elena,
Yes, Valeska.
I admire you for always being dedicated to your aesthetic.
I have to keep up an appearance, don't I? I have to put on a show.
Always charming.
Ask her what Raoul Julia's like in real life.
What?
Never mind. Forget I said anything.
These ornaments frighten the mortals. They make them feel something.
You've always found the beauty in such morbid things.
Yeah.
Elena, I do have a very, I'm in a very troubling predicament. And I don't know if you...
The downsizing.
You know.
Yes, I
Of
was there
course you
too,
know.
darling. I'm aware. I know. Your coterie is ill-equipped for this kind of activity.
Well, that's what we have our resources for.
Perhaps there are too many vampires in Philadelphia. Perhaps too many Camarilla vampires. Perhaps this will finally show us who has teeth.
I suppose you're right.
What do you want from me?
Well, I wanted to gain your insight and wisdom into this newly appointed prince.
Why should I help you?
Oh,
I am the
Elena.
high priestess of the
course, is
Order of the White Skull. You've been turning it into a joke of folly. This is a cult about the beauty of death, not about the beauty of Valeska. Why should I help you?
I assure you that
You can
all
see
of
that
that
her
is to
beast
keep.
is really, she's held this in for a while. Her beast is right on the surface. She's becoming a little more animal-like, and perhaps her rouse roll failed this evening.
I'll just bat my eyelashes at her and I say, I assure you it's only to keep up appearances among the mortals. And can I use presence on her?
You can attempt to use presence on her. Yes, you may. Absolutely.
Ooh, baby.
So would I roll along with that, or is that a...
Yeah, so what presence power would you like to use? Are you
I'm
using
being
awe?
charming. I would like to be like just trying to charm my way out of this whatever BS excuse I'm using.
Very good. If you're just kind of using the level 1 sort of kind of natural vampiric presence that your blood gives you, the power we call awe, it's a level 1 power, then you may just add your presence to whatever social role you're about to make to charm her. And I would say that
so
would be
use charisma.
charisma. And what do you think would be a good combo for your charisma? What skill are you using?
Intimidator.
I would say
Yeah.
persuasion.
Ooh,
I don't want to be.
persuasion.
I don't want to come off as. I don't want to rub her the wrong way. So I do want to. I just want to be a little persuasive and
You're not
charming.
threatening her. You're just
No, absolutely
coaxing
not.
her. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's a cool mechanic because you could use manipulation persuasion, and that's a little edgier. But charisma persuasion is like, hey, we're all friends here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
So
That's
true.
fun.
Anything
roll,
I learned from you, darling.
roll
Butter her bread a little bit.
There
That's
you go.
good.
That's very nice. Roll charisma plus persuasion. Add your presence to that roll, and she is going to attempt to resist your attempt to cozy up to her. Let's see how she does.
Okay.
Oh no!
She's not without her own resources.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness gracious!
How did you do?
I got 11 successes
Are you kidding me?
We brought in a ringer.
because I got a critical.
God!
There you
But
go.
I will say,
It's cool
can
that
I
Nora
say?
cheats. That's gonna help us
Messy.
win.
No, I did not. I need a dice cam for next time we play this game, but it is a messy critical.
Oh, you
Okay,
hate to see
so
it.
I'm gonna tell you what she does, and then you tell me what your character does, and then I'm gonna give you what you asked for. The thing that she does is she goes, I'm sorry, darling, you know you're special to me. And she's like kind of caressing your hair, and her hands are shaking. You can see that she's hungry. She's hungry, and she's like, you know that you have something inside you death, the spark of death is inside you, and I love you, darling, but I fear you.
I gently take her hand and still charming her, but also very politely showing deference, I kiss her hand. And I say, oh, I can only imagine the struggle that you go through every day. And I wouldn't be where I am without you. I'm only here because, and I'm kind of ingratiating myself to her. I wouldn't be here if I didn't seek your absolute wisdom and knowledge.
The prince, I don't know much about her. I only know that they've moved her into a big old house in Society Hill. Cedar Oak Lane. You can't miss it. It's the biggest one. Perhaps knowing where she havens will help you find out something about her. It's all I know.
Thank you.
Now leave me. I want to contemplate things spiritual.
Ooh. All right.
Meanwhile, somewhere else, let me ask the other kindred what they are doing to prepare for the night. Or you could even go investigate something without your coterie, or you could get your coterie together first. It's up to you. This game allows you to split the party quite a bit, and I'm okay storytelling that way. But sometimes more people are better than a couple.
I think Charles is doing some super old-timey man strength ritual to like get ready, like some with a medicine ball. He's got a big medicine ball. He's like throwing it, bounce off. He goes, "Rah! Rah! Rah!" He's just like down in the basement of Four Seasons Total Landscaping, bouncing this giant medicine ball and hitting himself in the chest.
Let me look at Charles here. Let me look at Charles. Charles, if I'm not mistaken, has potence, right? Quite a bit.
I do. 3 points.
Oh, 3. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, well, there it goes, Badger. You toss the medicine ball and it with such force that it shatters against the wall. You can't even usually shatter a medicine ball, but unfortunately your vampiric strength has made exercising not only difficult, but also unnecessary.
Right. It's so sad to have, but he's just like, damn it, another perfectly good medicine ball. Ruined. Curse my vampiric blood.
It's like an everyday thing. Your medicine ball budget is
every
through
day.
the
Just like
roof.
this big pile of sand next to his coffin. Just dead medicine balls.
Do you have one of those unicycles?
Yeah. Just get like big barbell with like perfectly round like weights on the end of it.
Yeah, we
Just
someone
on a
arrives.
unicycle.
Circus. You're a
Yeah.
circus
Someone arrives
performer.
at Four Seasons Total Landscaping.
Uh-oh.
Who is it? It's one of your
Rudy
coteries.
Giuliani.
No, it's not. Thank God.
You're Rudy, you bastard.
Although I think I've timed this this scenario right around the time when these press conferences would have gone on.
Roll for self-tanner drip.
Oh,
Yeah.
honey.
Where is it? I just kind of want to see where it is in Philly.
Jared, I'm pretty sure Rudy is a daywalker. I just wanted to point that out.
You're right. There's no one that looks more like a vampire than that guy.
Oh yeah, you're all the way up the Delaware.
Yeah, I'm like way like northeast.
Way northeast up
By
in
the river.
Tacony
Yeah.
by the river. So someone has had to take a car to meet you and to get you. It's one of your coterie. Who wants a scene with Charles? And it could be all of you, in fact, if you prefer.
So I fear something terrible might happen to me if I show up at a place like that.
You wouldn't be seen dead in a place like Four Seasons Total Landscape.
Yeah.
I literally think a Toreador would suffer some sort of damage being.
Yeah.
I don't think
You'd have to like
Petro
stake
would-
yourself instantly. If you,
Well,
Yeah,
it was Malcolm Webster. You're the
I'll
one that
do
had
it, but
the.
if you play along with me here, tell me if I'm out of my mind. I think of everything as like a film. Like the car opens up and Malcolm steps out, and then we flash back a little bit to him going into the prison earlier that morning, and he requests a meeting with the warden of the penitentiary.
Yes.
His name is Warden Denton Crane. And my idea is that Denton Crane is one of his allies, so I took the merit ally, put 3 pips into it, that he's like a strong ally. I originally thought at character creation he could be a vampire, but in reading a little bit more, they said all the allies are mortal.
Generally.
Now, generally. So I was like, all right, I'll go with that. And my thought is that, like, he got this job, befriended the warden to the point where he was able to get prescriptions for the warden, and the warden kind of looks the other way to let him do what he needs to do. The warden has no idea what's going on because Dr. Malcolm Webster gets the job done. The prison is running smoothly. You don't have a lot of outbursts, so it seems like his work is doing well. Meanwhile, he's slipping the warden oxy under the table, and the warden just kind of looks the other way. So my meeting, well, I guess we'll play it out. He comes in and he's like, I have a bit of an odd request. I was wondering if I could get a list of some of the more recently incarcerated.
You got my stuff?
Oh, but of course. Reaches into his jacket, pulls out an envelope, and slides it across the warden's big desk.
You know, it's 9 o'clock, Webster.
Oh, I know, it isn't,
My wife wonders where I'm at.
Right, well,
I can't stay here till midnight.
I understand. I don't want to get you in trouble, but I just had this nagging feeling that if I could assess the more recently incarcerated, get a sense of where they're at mentally, then maybe I could make sure that their transition into the prison environment would be smooth. We've done so much work with the other inmates. I would hate to have these new inmates sort of foul things up. So the list is really the beginning of the process. I would then want to interview each of them. And as soon as possible to kind of find out what's their background. Where did they come from? And all of this is to say he's trying to find out, did anybody come in here, any of these anarchs, and get arrested? Maybe he can pull one of these guys out of the prison. Somebody made a wrong move and got arrested.
He hands you a list. They've only added a few prisoners because they're already overcrowded. Within the last 6 months, they've added 3 prisoners. Let me see. I can even give you some names, perhaps.
Oh.
Would you like that?
I would love it.
Great. Let's see here.
You actually come with a list. Usually we ask Troy, and he has to make up something really stupid, like on the spot.
I'd be like,
Yes,
Johnsonson.
Right. Yeah. Well, with me, all I have to do is shuffle through all of my papers until I find it.
It's
here
fun,
we go.
because it's like torture normally, but this is we'll get a real name out of this. This is awesome.
Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller.
Arcady Ronan.
Arcady Roman.
Garmin Cleaves.
Ooh, these are good names.
And Comrade Alpine.
Comrade Alpine. I like the cut of his name's jib.
That's a good name. Conrad Alpine.
I would like to see them as soon as possible, and there'll be the requisite payment to allow such processes to happen.
Yeah. So their crimes are, let's see, Arcady Ronan, extortion, and assault.
Maybe, but extortion, probably not.
Garmin Cleaves is solicitation. He also ran sex workers as a pimp. He also is involved in drug trade, illegal narcotics.
Okay, maybe.
He's been convicted on all that.
How long have these renegade vampires been in town? It could be anything from one day to months.
Oh, for months now, there have been refugees flooding into Philadelphia. But of course, they don't follow the traditions of the Camarilla. What they're supposed to do is announce themselves at Elysium.
Right.
And some have, because they are Camarilla citizens in good standing. But many are just poaching from the other hunting grounds of other vampires. And the issue is that it is the year 2020. There are less people on the streets. There are no people in bars. And so our vampire population in Philadelphia is already starving, and now poachers are stealing from them.
It's really interesting. Are they
yeah,
from?
this-
Are these people? Are they from established clans? Some of them, or are they just all over the map?
You
Like
would
these
know
refugees.
as a hound, my friend, that there are anarch clans, right? So some of the anarchs come from clans like the Toreador, Valeska, and Petra, but many come from your clanless status, the Caitiff. There are anarch Malkavians, but there are two clans that are in particularly known as anarch clans, clans that have betrayed the Camarilla, and those are the Bruja and the Gangrel.
Oh, I didn't know they were actually okay.
That
all
makes
right.
sense.
A caitiff like yourself working for the Camarilla is a little rare, but it's not unheard of.
I need to
especially since you're a muscle and not, one of the masterminds of the whole operation.
All right, so this
our-
pimp might be the possible one. And what's the third one's? What was he arrested
Comrade
for?
Alpheim. And Comrade Alpheim is wanted for a dozen incidences of theft, and he was running confidence games.
Okay, sounds like the middle guy might be wrapped up in this. What a great job. Come over here, find some wayward people, enlist them in the sex trade, and then use it as like a constant food source. I mean, this is the guy. I think we just won the mission, and we still have another episode left. What the hell are you going to do, Jared?
I'm going to let you talk to one of them right now and maybe roll something, and then
Okay.
we are going to see what our other friends are doing. So tell me who you're going to interview.
The
Interview
middle
with
guy.
a vampire.
Yes, I'd like an
Yes.
interview with a vampire.
It is an interview with a vampire.
We should call this episode. No, I think it's been
That's a
done.
great idea.
Was it Arcady, the middle guy, the pimp? Sex
Arcady
trade,
was
Johnson?
Arcady was extortion and assault.
No, second guy then.
Okay,
What was
Garmin
he?
Cleaves.
Garmin Cleaves, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you smell another vampire when you're in the room? Isn't there a thing like resonance or something? You can just
well,
like, if you're a
you
bloodhound, I didn't take bloodhound.
What a great question. If you have auspex, you can use your heightened senses to detect other vampires.
I do have
also,
auspex.
You can sense vampires if they don't use the blush of life. Anytime you guys are around regular mortals who don't know what you are, you need to rouse. You need to do another rouse roll to kind of like fill your skin with the pink hue, the pink glow of life.
What a great mechanic.
It's cool.
Yes. And it
And
makes
that
you
lasts for
hungrier.
a whole evening, right? That's like for the blush of life.
Oh, I let it last for a scene usually, but if I was feeling generous, I might let it last for an evening. I think that it's horrible for vampires. They have to constantly get hungrier in order to maintain the masquerade. So those are two poles fighting against each other. Garmin Cleaves sits in front of you. He is a black man in his early 30s. Skinny, he's all elbows and knees in his prison jumpsuit, and he eyes you with a bit of skeptical amusement on his face.
All right out the gate, I want to use auspex just to get a sense before I decide where I want to go with this guy.
Great.
And,
what auspex power do you believe that you're using? Heightened
I
senses
don't
would give
know.
you. That's okay. Heightened senses would give you sort of an idea of like you'd be smelling any kind of strange clues. You would be hearing every little detail would be open to you. That's a level 1 power, but perhaps Scry the Soul is the best vampire detector. What level of auspex do you have?
I have 1 point in it from my consensualist predator type.
Give me the heightened senses. Give me a wits plus resolve roll at difficulty 3. You don't
Wits
have
plus
to rouse.
resolve, okay.
Yeah, and you don't have to rouse to use this power. It's free.
All right, but I still have to roll 2 hunger die because I have 2 hunger. So
That's
I'm
right.
rolling. I have 2 wits, 3 resolve, 2 hunger. I'm rolling 7 die, but this could be bad.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Oh, this is great. I got 3 10s. Like the 10 is the one with the 2 stars, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a critical. Yeah.
So that's a critical plus because I got 3 10s and then 1 success beyond that. So 4
Were any of those
successes and
10s
3.
on your hunger die?
Yes, one of the tanks was on the hunger die. So is that
that's a messy
It's a
critical.
messy critical.
Oh no!
That's a messy critical.
I just have to ask you a
messy
couple
critical.
questions, and I'll rip his head off.
Messy critical. So,
Really
what
interest you in a messy critical.
happens?
Kid, it's perfect.
Jackie, no.
Normally, your heightened senses work like you zoom in with your vision or you zoom in with, your ears become heightened. But in this case, suddenly everything kind of activates at once and you're seeing every small detail, every pore on his face. You can hear his heartbeat. There is, you think, a very small bug in the corner of the room, and you can hear it scrapping against the concrete in the corner of the room. But you know everything about this man instantly, and the main thing that is coming through in your heightened senses is the heat of life, the beautiful heat of fresh, pumping red blood of a mortal, Dr. Malcolm Webster.
Wow. Okay.
Eat him.
So yeah, he realizes it's a lost cause for one aspect of his journey, but he is a little hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Is this how it works? Are we just eating victims on the reg?
It's not a bad policy, and you don't have to kill someone. In fact, that's a horrible breach of the Masquerade usually, unless you're able to cover it up very quietly. You could just kind of, take a little sip.
Take a sip. You get 2 points back for that, up to 2, right? For just
this
a
could
sip.
be good. Well, let me lead into it. I want to throw it away to somebody else, but he's just kind of like he's sitting there on a chair, sitting across from him, imagine you don't get the lovely divan in a traditional sitcom therapist's office. So he's sitting across the table, and he's like, "Why did you choose the trade you chose? Selling flesh."
You smell adrenaline. He's a lot more scared or excited than he's letting on. And he's kind of like, only way I know to make a buck. I never had shit. It's the only way I know. I have a way with these women. I even got a young man that works for me. We have an understanding. We take care of each other. It's not a crime. Nobody gets hurt.
No, I've always appreciated the pull yourself up by the bootstraps type of person. It seems like you are an entrepreneur.
That's right. That's right. I'm an entrepreneur.
Yes. Unfortunately, your trade is illegal here in the city of brotherly love.
Yeah. Brotherly love.
Do you have brothers?
Well, what's your deal, man? You're gonna find out that I'm like crazy or like my dad kicked the shit out of me? Cause yeah, that happened. My mom was a junkie too. So what? Now you know. What do you want to know?
I just want to get to know you as a person. Perhaps a friend. Certainly not your enemy. You seem to be the type of person who sees the world in a different way. Sees things that are there for the taking and goes ahead, takes them. I appreciate that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the only way I ever got anything is by taking it.
You don't take it, someone else is going to, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I normally don't say this to, I don't want to call you my patient. We're just a couple of gentlemen having a conversation. But hearing your story, I have to say, in a way, I admire you. The balls it takes to do what you do, knowing that it's illegal.
Oh, I get it. You like a piece now and then. Now, I see Johns like you all the time. Creepy motherfuckers rolling up in your Rolls Royce. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you're a pervert. So? I'm glad I can provide a service for you. Are you gonna get me out of here? Maybe like sign a form, recommend me to the parole board because I gotta get out of here, man.
Service. Yes. Well, perhaps we can sign those forms once you perform a service for me. And then he like dominates him.
He dominates him. Okay, what's he dominating him to do? And what is his dominate
to
level?
just be like catatonic while I go in for the bite.
Oh, interesting. So, you have a prey exclusion of non-consensual, but that does not include people you've dominated, huh? I mean,
That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, that is.
No, it's okay. I think
should have taken him a little more along the ways of being like, this is what you want? Am I right? And I forgot about that. But yeah,
He sounded like he was cool with it to me. I thought he was like kind of into it.
Thank you for that analysis, Skid.
I gotta say, I agree with Skid.
That's just an old ball player's perspective. That's just what I.
Look, I mean, no problem. If you want to just deal with your prey exclusion, just go ahead and take a little bit of willpower damage, and you can feed on this guy using your dominate.
Okay, yeah. So you can do something against your
Absolutely.
nature, but you take a penalty, and that's I think what he's going to do because he understands what the stakes are right now. No pun intended. We're having a good time. So he'll do it because he's got to feed. He doesn't want to go into this hunt, hungry. So
I'm going to hunt on an empty stomach.
So I'll take a damage to my willpower, and then do I have to roll to dominate? I have 2 pips in dominate.
And I assume you're using Mesmerize, which is the level 2 dominate power, which allows you to kind of make people obey you. They have to kind of fulfill at least one command that you give them for the remainder of the scene. And it can be a fairly complex command. Would you please roll? Let me see. Let's just see how it goes. Rolling the dice is interesting. Yeah, you need to rouse, my friend, and then you need to roll manipulation plus dominate.
Okay, so rouse is just a straight up
D10.
A D10, and if you get a 6 or above, you don't get hungrier. If you get a 5 or below, you do.
First of all, love these mechanics. Second of all, got a 10 on the rouse, so I'm
Great,
good.
so you're not getting hungrier, good, because you're using your powers to feed right now.
Yeah.
And go ahead and roll your manipulation plus dominate.
Okay, and I took the merit beautiful, so I get a +1 die to my social pools.
Oh, nice.
I forgot about that.
Great.
Manipulate plus, did you say dominate? Oh yeah, so manipulate is 4 pips, because that's my jam, and then 2 for dominate, and then 2 for hunger.
And then, no, don't add 2 for hunger.
Yeah, replace
out
2
of those,
dice with hunger.
Out of those 4 manipulate, 2 should be hunger dice.
Oh, is that how it
They
works?
replace the dice. They don't add to it. That's
they
the
don't add
mistake
to
I
it. They
was-
replace the dice, yeah.
Less helpful, but makes much more sense. All right, so
Yes.
manipulate and then dominate, and then I get +1 for being beautiful. Skid, show us young Terran stamp. Okay, that's a lot of dice. All right, here's the good news. I got 110, 3 successes, one of which was a hunger, and then one of the beast dies on the hunger, the skull.
Okay.
So 4 successes, one was a 10, and a beast.
It sounds like you've succeeded because he only got 2 successes to sort of resist your attempt, but you haven't criticaled or anything like that.
No, only that one time.
Beautiful feline, Skid. Okay,
Yeah.
so
sorry, that's supposed to be Terran Stamp.
the man kind of like leans in like he's hanging on your every word, and what do you do? What command are you giving him?
His command is, you want this too.
Okay, he's like, sure, man, sure. And he allows you to feed. Are you feeding just to take a sip and get the edge off?
Just a sip, like a taster at a brewery. Can I try your
I'll be
red
honest, this is
goes?
a man that worked in the
flight.
sex trade, and there is a quality of the kiss, which is what we call a vampire's bite, that makes mortals sort of like feel pleasure when the fangs go in.
Right.
And so for a moment he is putty in your hands and
Yep.
sort of like not fully himself, and you may decrease your hunger by 1. And let me know if you want to bring it all the way down to 0.
How do you do that?
Killing him.
You'd have to get into some dangerous territory for his health.
All right, I'll just take the 1. Just a little sip to be ready for the hunt ahead.
Great.
But now I've embraced this dude, so he could be like a character 50 years from now, right?
Oh,
Or
no. You've only fed on him. Embrace
Okay.
requires you to drain someone completely and then feed them your blood.
Have you ever watched Interview with a Vampire?
Well, there's
That's
so
exactly
many
how it
levels
happens
to
in
this
Interview
game.
with a vampire, bro.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so this is just a
He slumps
feed.
back in his seat, kind of like lightheaded, but not even fully unconscious. But your mesmerism has kept him from like calling out or screaming or even showing any sort of resistance to your attempt. And he's like, yeah, everybody wants it. Little bit of pleasure now and again. Yeah.
We're so evil.
It's
God.
it's just despicable, really. They lead
I don't know about
despicable
these
on lives.
vampires.
Who visited Charles? It wasn't Dr. Webster. He was busy doing this for hours. I want to jump to Petra.
I think Charles is just like sitting out by the curb, just like waiting, looking at his watch. Like,
It's a guy that looked like Dr. Malcolm Webster steps out of the car, but it's not. No, it's not.
he said he would be here.
I'm going to let you set a scene. Who do you want to go see? Who do you want to talk to? It could be one of your fellow coterie members, or it could be an NPC, someone in your background, your allies, your friends. Or you could send, I know that you have some people that follow you and do your bidding. You could send them on an errand, like anything you want. Tell me what she is doing to sort of solve this predicament she's in.
Yeah, so I think Petra wakes up with her, she has a penthouse, fancy but nothing crazy, mirrored headboard on this big Art Deco bed, and she wakes up feeling like she has the worst hangover because her rouse was not great.
Oh.
And she immediately kind of like rolls over and grabs her phone to text Claire, her intern. And she never actually texts Claire because it takes too much effort. She always sends voice messages, which is like the obnoxious thing to do. And she goes, need you to tell me what most hot club, most hot restaurant, most hot bar is, where people are going lately. Get back to me ASAP. Kiss.
Excellent. So how many dots do you have in Claire? Like how many background dots did you spend?
Claire has 3. I sent you the sheet, and then I immediately changed it after I sent it to you. But originally it was my lawyer, who was my contact and ally, but now it's Claire.
I wrote down Claire for some reason, so we are on the same page, but I did see that. Okay, so we're asking your intern, what's the hottest club? Like, where are people having fun right now? And I'm going to roll your dice for Claire. What's Claire the best at?
Claire is the best at, I would say, like, research. She just knows, like, how to use the internet.
Mental.
Mental. Sure, mental.
Great. And what does she suck at? Physical stuff?
Yeah, physical stuff or, like, organizational stuff. She's not
Right.
actually a great intern. I just use her for her information.
Let's see how Claire does here.
Oh, boy.
Well, she is an asset. She got 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Oh, nice.
Great.
Claire.
Ooh.
She tells you that everything's shut down, but the party's still going on. USS United States. Secret rave tonight.
Oh.
So in South Philadelphia, there's actually an old, it's like a battleship. It is not a museum, and it's not like something that people can tour here in our setting in the world of darkness. It's just an old hulk that kind of sits in the harbor. She says that someone set up some kind of wild party there tonight.
Whoa.
And it's illegal because the city is, on pandemic restrictions.
Like the frying
Amazing.
pan.
I think I answer back, amazed, babes. Dress code?
She's like, weird. Casuals will be sent away. And you have to have an invitation.
Good. It's like Studio U57.
Exactly.
Bottle cap.
Okay, this is good information. I would say that I immediately, I'm assuming everybody has phones in this world, but I would immediately send that information to Valeska, Charles, and Malcolm.
Very good. Well, there is something interesting about Camarilla vampires, and that is that they are technically not supposed to have cell phones or smartphones, but many of them flaunt this law. And in Philadelphia, as we have already established, the laws were not as strictly as enforced as in some other cities. Like, if you're in like an old city, like say maybe Madrid or Rome, the prince is there. I mean, they have shock troopers in the streets turning over your pockets for cell phones. But Philadelphia, the Continental Congress, it was based, it's where they founded the democracy of the United States. They keep a loose hand, which is maybe why there's a huge poacher problem, and they're trying to deal with it right now. So very good. You can't. I mean, if people have cell phones, Petra has sent you a message about this.
Oh
And
yeah,
Petra,
you'll take my cell phone away from my cold undead hands. That's just not going to happen.
Right. So, Petra, are you going to get ready, or are you going to head to this thing? You could arrive in, say, 2 hours. You'd be there at like midnight.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is, if I have the time, I'm going to collect from a few stylists outfits for every single person in our group, so we all can be somewhat uniform, but all have like the weird, the funky. We're all going to fit in, because I know Malcolm and Charles do not know what to wear if I text them dress weird.
Right, of course. I think that this is worth a roll, because Vampire is a game about many things, and one of them is fashion. So, I think that you should roll your craft.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you should roll your craft, and I think that you can add to that your resolve. I think that's what an artist uses often, is their resolve.
Okay. And then question.
yeah.
I have one dot in craft, but I also have a specialty in craft. Do I add an additional die?
Yes, because if you're willing to make that fashion or weird art or something like that that applies to this particular situation.
Cool. Okay.
I'm gonna write it down on your sheet as just like visual art, and I'm gonna allow it to apply to this role. It makes sense. It's like, because if it wasn't weird, then it wouldn't apply. So go ahead and give me a resolve plus. So that's 3 dice, but then +1 for your specialty.
And then here's my other question, because Skid mentioned it before. You said you subtract your hunger die from what? So I would have 4 die plus my 2 hunger. Am I taking?
So out of your four die that you're rolling, 2 of them should be hunger die. They just replace normal die.
Cool. So it's not specific to what it is. And does this have a difficulty?
Yes, it does. You need 2 successes to outfit everybody in like something that will make them fit in seamlessly and make them seem like they belong there.
Well, I did fail. I had 1 success.
Okay, so you can spend a point of willpower, and maybe on a roll like this you wouldn't, because it seems like kind of like, we're doing this for kind of flavor of your character, but maybe you would. Maybe this is very important to Petra. You can spend a willpower and re-roll up to 3 die. You'll take a willpower damage. You can see where under willpower you can like write spent, Your willpower, I see, we haven't filled in, so it's actually equal to your composure plus your resolve. So Petra has 4 willpower only.
So you spend 1 point for each die you reroll? Is that how it works?
you can spend 1 point. So you would say in your spent, you would put it under one of your willpower there. You'd fill that in, and then you would be able to spend up to re-roll up to 3 dice.
Okay, so you know what? I'm going to do it. This is important to Petra. This is where my strong suit is. I don't know how handy I'll
and
come
I'm
in
sorry,
later.
Skid, you're right. I think you need to spend 1 point for each die that you re-roll.
Okay.
Up to 3. So
Up to 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
That would
so I
take
only
you to
had
3 out of 4 spent.
Yeah. Okay, so I only had 1 failed die, so let me roll that one again.
Okay, great.
Okay, cool. So that is a success. So then I have
There
2.
you go.
Nice.
So you have these like incredible outfits. Like, I mean, you make some calls, and like these outfits are just kind of arriving on your door in like 35, 40 minutes. And they're kind of broadly the size of your friends, and you guys are going to fit into this party seamlessly. You have just, I mean, on one hand, it's like you're using fashion skill, but on the other hand, you've camouflaged your predator friends.
Could I have used this information to alert my PA Skylar?
Absolutely, yeah. The information you gained from Elena.
Yeah, not Elaine. We got a text message from.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yes.
you could. Yeah, Skylar could know about the all-night party on the old battleship.
See if
So
they can
could I-
get us the invite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what I want to do is I want to tell them to, because I'm sure they would be able to throw my name around and get us on the guest list. And if not, I say, listen, I want you to assemble the gladiators. We need a full phalanx for our entrance.
You want to get invitations, Valeska. Valeska, you have, I see, advantages of fame and resources. What is your influence in? It's with your cult, right?
Yeah, influence is 1. Fame and resources are 2 each.
I'm going to let you roll your fame plus resources, which is 4 dice. Do not add hunger because it's not like a skill you're rolling. It's kind of like you're using your social connections.
Oh, that's cool.
So your hunger wouldn't come into play here. And let me know how many successes you get. If you get 2, you've got 4 invitations.
So just out of those 4, okay.
Yeah.
2.
Nice.
So you make some calls to Skylar, and Skylar is like on it. And soon an email comes through. It's like you're supposed to just print out this email or whatever, and then or show it on your phone, and you can get into the party.
I'm sure there's a QR code or something that's sent, and I still want, if we're gonna go weird, I want to go full out weird. I want them beautifully, I want some just gorgeous gladiators with full on like mohawks. I want that. Yeah, I just want of every like male, female, non-binary. I just want them to be just gorgeous gladiators escorting us in with spears.
Your entourage now
Local
looks
pro
like
wrestlers.
the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Yes.
Yes.
But instead of like Greek helmets, they have been outfitted with Greek helmet haircuts.
Yeah, they're all just gorgeous
cool.
androgynous humans.
Yes.
Just
Wow.
Hairless.
Wow.
And so this is the car that pulls up to the Badgers. There we go. Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Yes.
whoa.
Yes.
God.
This is
Yes.
the kind of outfit you guys are wearing.
Mwah.
The car that pulls up to Charles's landscaping business is actually got all of the vamps in it because he's right up the coast from this battleship. The door opens and it's time for Charles to get in and put on the clothes that have the costume that has been prepared for him.
What the frick is this? You want me to wear this? You look like a buffoon.
No, I want you to hold it in your hand and swing it above your head like a big towel. Yes, I want you to wear it. You already look like
right.
a big buffoon. What, is not going to make you look better?
All right, you
The
young
swinging
lady.
over the head might be, a nice show, though.
That is actually Valeska has point. You can use part to swing over your head. There is one attachment like his long tail, intestine-like. You could use that.
But listen,
Imagine-
I'm going to be swinging anything over my head. It's going to be a Louisville Slugger. Like in the old days.
A Louis Vuitton slugger? I don't know about this.
They make those stuff.
Who's Louis Vuitton?
Charles,
Used to play for the
imagine.
Cleveland Spiders. I think I knew that
Charles.
man. Frenchman. Like Charles Guiteau.
Charles, just imagine you.
Shut Garfield right in the heart.
Charles!
I'll never forget what.
Charles! Imagine you got traded to a team and this was your new uniform.
All right, Whipster. No, you're speaking a language I can understand. I don't care for it, but I'll do it for your sakes.
Put it on.
Sir, I do not see you in yours yet. You're going to put on as well? Now?
Yes. Me?
Okay, put it on. Now.
Yes. All right. Paint all the way down my chest. Let's go.
Very good. So the coterie now looks like, the freaks that they are. They look like the freaks they should be. They are creations of Petra's imagination and these various designers she called in favors from. And so you eventually arrive.
Can I say, if there is no step and repeat at this party, I arrange for a step and repeat.
Call it in like from the car.
Very good. So your car travels down the Delaware through the various neighborhoods, through Richmond and Fishtown, across the edge of Center City, and soon you're in Pennsport, and you pull up to the dock that leads out to the SS United States, and you can see something's going on the deck, but it's not like they can't have spotlights going. It's kind of dark. It's like a party in the dark out on this like ship out in the middle of the water, and you see people kind of crossing over who are dressed as less impressive versions of yourself. Horns and strange sort of accoutrement, like Napoleonic generals kind of crossing the dock, but their faces say trust fund hipster, and they're all crossing over onto the USS United States. Just a parade of pumping hearts and warm skin.
Look at these basic bitches. Where's my phalanx?
They are ready.
Right.
They've opened the door for you. They're ready to phalanx you.
It is a
carry us in a
traditional
litter.
phalanx as well. Sort of you're evoking.
Okay, before we go in, possibly lose each other, night turns to shit. What is plan, yeah?
Oh, there's a plan?
Well, I have a plan to pummel anyone that looks like they know anything. To them within an inch of their lives, or unlives as the case may be.
It's a good plan, but we also need a rendezvous.
All right.
Duh.
Well, we could always meet in the ocean. It's right there.
Yes.
What?
I mean the river.
You want me to get in water?
Well, it's all right for vampires, right? That's just a myth. Can't we just...
Yes, except for this outfit is dry clean only.
Oh,
Duh.
I didn't mean to imply that...
Part of it is going to disintegrate. It is made of candied sugar.
I didn't know we were wearing edible clothing tonight.
Not yours.
Changes the deal.
Edible
mine.
clothing, partying with edible people. It's an edible evening.
Well, you put it that way.
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Is there anything nearby where we could just be like, let's just meet 2 blocks over there? If
Sure,
things
there's
fall
an
apart.
old boathouse kind
We
of,
meet at, like,
a block
Gino's?
down that's like got like, a couple old like canoes that are used by whoever maintains the dock to kind of move between ships over in a marina nearby.
Cool.
That's a good question though. How far is Pat's King of Steaks from here?
Yeah.
Quite far. Pat's King of Steaks is kind of on the other side of town.
Okay, because we
Shit.
want to avoid stakes as much as possible.
Right.
Predicament.
Well, now keep in mind, you are hunting kindred who aren't supposed to be here, who aren't on your little list. And so that is who you are looking for at this party. I mean, it being the only party of this sort in town, Petra had a good brainstorm there. It's very likely a poacher will be here. If you could at least bring in one, maybe the prince will have mercy on you and let you, hunt in at least a decent hunting ground. But if you guys overachieve, if you can bring in, say, a whole coterie of poachers, well, then you'd have your ticket to South Street.
Imagine if there's an entire coterie here. Would we know? Would we be able to sense it? Or we just got to get in there and fucking figure it out?
You got to go in and figure it out.
Oh, man. This is
Oh
awesome.
man, I'm excited.
Yeah.
This is cool.
I haven't been to a
ready.
party
I've
in
got-
like a year and a
I've
half.
got-
I know. Just the thought of role-playing going to a party is exciting on its face.
In keeping with the food theme here, I've got like a tutu, but it's a the tutu is actually a pan, and it's like a full like pizza pie around my waist,
Oh, amazing.
so that
great.
if you walk by, people could take a slice.
That's incredible.
We're about to make so many friends.
That's
and
yes.
Charles is kind of dressed like the Minotaur, and Dr. Malcolm Webster looks like a satyr.
Yeah.
And as you cross the gangplank, you see that the party is oddly quiet, but you do see people like dancing, and there is someone checking your invitation. And when they check that you have the proper QR code, they hand you a pair of earbuds. And you see that it is a silent party out, and people all have earbuds in,
Oh,
and they're all
crazy.
like dancing silently. And it's a little, well, maybe not to creatures such as yourself, but to a normal guy like me, the storyteller, it might be a little off-putting to see all these people sweating and like cavorting to nothing.
Yeah.
On the deck of this like rusted old metal war boat.
You know what I'm so
It's a nice
getting?
touch.
Devilman Crybaby vibes in the club scene when it's just like whoosh, whoosh, and like nobody knows what's happening because everyone's so like just hyped on drugs and like can't see anything. This is gonna be easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Well, it's definitely going to be an easy place to feed. These people are totally, perhaps irresponsibly, tossing away any caution, and they're getting into it. I mean, they're sweating, they're grinding against each other, and these very subtle lights are playing over the entire crowd, but it's mostly all happening in darkness. And there are, of course, drinks you see kind of, up in one of like the, where the bridge is, there is a station where people are getting alcohol. Let me know how you would approach an encounter like this or what you'd like to do.
Who's not drinking? That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, keeping an eye out for who does not have an alcoholic beverage in their hand.
Very good. Then let's have an investigation roll from anybody who'd like to try to do
Ooh.
that.
Yeah.
Or actually, you know what? That's just keeping an eye out. You can use investigation or awareness, and you can add your wits to it.
I'll do that.
Oh,
I will do that as well.
I will also do that. Yeah, I learned this lesson from the Elysium because I thought I could just order a fucking scotch.
Yep.
Not allowed.
Ooh,
Maybe if you were a thin blood.
I got 3 successes and a critical success.
Okay.
I got 2 successes. One of them was on the hunger die, but nothing else bad.
Okay. Petra and Valeska, how did you do?
1 success, 1 it was on the hunger die, but yeah.
I got 4 successes.
Oh, nice.
Very good. So Charles
And by critical success, I mean I did get 2 crits. I got 2 10s.
You got 2 10s, which means those you add up to 4 successes plus whatever other successes you got. So you critted in a big way, and you're actually good at this kind of thing because you worked as a hound, Charles. So you're kind of like moving very quietly through the party. Your costume kind of keeps you. You kind of like the costume. It kind of keeps you anonymous. Nobody sees the kind of guy you are, which would make them uneasy, and they're all ignoring you. And you go around and you notice that there are a lot of people dancing, but for the most part, they go and grab a drink or they do things that Kindred wouldn't do. They're like taking little tabs of various narcotics, enjoying a little bit of, substance that will enhance the experience of this dance party. And there are, you don't see anybody who's like markedly avoiding drugs or drink. And I would say also, Valeska, you've been working at a completely different circle than Charles has, and kind of socializing with these people in the way that Valeska would, which I assume is allowing them to come up and like worship her a little bit, ask her who designed that kind of thing. And you're noticing a lot of these people are they're in a very altered state, which a kindred would not be. Kindred, unless they fed on someone in an altered state, they wouldn't be kind of like reeling from drugs. And so the other two, you haven't had much luck. It's maybe not exactly your bag to kind of do guard duty like this or like suss this kind of thing out. So right now it doesn't appear that you are looking at any kindred, but I want you all to do one more thing for me since you're mixing with the mortals. You all need to rouse to put on the blush of life.
Oh, blush of life.
Oh God, you're gonna get us.
I made it.
I did it.
Success.
Thank
All
goodness
that
I did
feeding
it.
for nothing.
I know. I must have not got a good feed. Oh no, I'm just surrounded. So that's what it is. You're just surrounded by this life, and you're just like, oh, you're like gotta quell that hunger. Is that what it is?
Here's
Sure,
Wile E.
well-
Coyote looking at Roadrunners.
I mean, I actually love that description. I mean, the by the book thing is that, you know, in order to appear like a person, Malcolm Webster would just be like a white, bloodless corpse.
Right,
which people this close up would notice. It's kind of dark, but when the light flashed over him, people would be like, what the fuck? In fact, you could even decide not to put on the blush of life if you want to risk that in this particular situation. But I like what you said. I think that he's just like surrounded by so many delicious snacks. I mean, he's just surrounded by so many delectable, pulsing, cavorting bodies that his hunger perhaps is aroused.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's this obvious connection between this sexual urge and the need to feed. And so, do a lot of these vampire games, does it go into this realm where it's just the line is so thin? Because it feels like you want to have sex with everyone, but you really just want to feed on them.
It's true. Well, I mean, in a lot of the games, you know, we don't really often hit on that in the Vampires of Pittsburgh stream that I run, but it's occasionally come up. I mean, you can't separate sex from vampires. That's just sort of part of the mythology, right?
But they don't really they can only take pleasure in sex if they do blush of life, right? Vampires?
Right, and if someone was like, in my game, really wanted to have sex and it seemed like it made sense in the scene and everybody was being tasteful, I might make them blush of life once or like 3 times if they wanted things to kind of all work correctly. I don't even know if that's by the book, but I would allow it. Yes.
I was going to ask, because this 2 hunger, I did not fail that last rouse, so I'm still at 2 hunger, but it's fucking me over with my dice rolls. So can I drink a little blood? Can Petra drink a little blood at this club? But the thing is, I'm a siren. So my question is, obviously I don't need to have sex to drink blood, but it is like a sensual, seductive way to drink blood. So my question is, can I like head to the dance floor, find somebody to like grind with, and then sort of like separate them from the herd a little bit, drink a little blood, smack them on the butt, send them back in?
This is so cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So let's do that. So I think that what happens is you see Claire in the crowd, and she kind of is like pointing at like a young man who's like got his shirt off and is like wearing leather pants, and he had a matador costume on earlier in the night, but a lot of it's gone. He is
perfect.
He is a pretty beautiful specimen, if that is what Petra is interested in. She can make a roll to kind of do this seduction and try to like get this guy away from.
Yeah, let me do my best. Petra goes for strong features, so already leather pants. This man seems like he's making a choice, so she's
An attractive target right there.
He's making,
Oh, yeah.
he's making a strong choice. He's making
That's what I'm wearing tonight.
Yeah.
You can't see it.
Choices.
Me too. You just can't see. I put on my leather pants.
It's the
Every
only
stream
thing
I do.
Yeah, that's just smart.
I have many pairs of leather pants.
My
wanna
leather,
be
my
comfortable.
leather thong is on right now.
Nice.
What would Petra use to stalk prey like this?
Well, I'm thinking I would use my manipulation alongside my persuasion, which I have seduction in, and then I would use my presence, and can I use awe and beautiful?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so how many dice is that? Hold on. 2, 3,
15.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 die.
That's a lot of dice.
Yes, minus my 2 hunger, so let's see.
That's a lot of
So
dice. That's a
you gotta-
spicy
That's a
meatball.
lot of dice.
So 6 black, 2 red, or if you don't have the vampire dice, so 6 regular dice, 2 hunger. Oh, okay, so it seems pretty balanced. Like you're never gonna be like, I'm gonna roll 14 dice and 2 are gonna be hunger. It's pretty balanced.
I also found, I don't have the vampire dice, but I found an online roller that does all the symbols, which makes it so much easier and cooler. But that is 3 successes.
Nice.
So, you actually have been dancing with this guy for a little while. His sweat is wicking against your face. It's kind of like someone it would be like someone kind of putting a baby back rib in my face, like just
I like it.
you
Go
feel
on.
like glands inside of Petra's mouth have activated for the first time in maybe days or weeks, like you are salivating. Parts of you are coming to life the closer you get to this guy, and the dancing is getting really close, really intimate, and then you are easily, with 3 successes, able to kind of draw him off and into a part of the ship that looks to be like this kind of small kind of metal corridor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
And you guys,
graphic.
there's not even, okay, so just to be graphic for a moment, this corridor is so small inside of like this ship that any kind of coital arrangement would be able to utilize the walls. Does that make sense? To kind of hold each other up or like kind of get at each other. And in fact, that's what's happening. Are you ready to feed?
Heck yeah. And Petra's
Yeah.
also strong as shit because she's a vampire. She's a 40-year-old woman, but all of a sudden I think I like pick this dude up and I'm like, now it's time. It's time
Yeah.
for me.
And that's when you are going to roll a wits plus awareness roll for me.
Oh, I gotta do another roll, don't I?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
this isn't to feed. This is to find something else out. Please roll wits
Ooh.
plus awareness for me.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Wow. 5. And then I haven't fed yet, so I still have 2 hunger die.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Make sure that you replace 2 of the dice in your wits plus awareness roll with hunger die.
Okie dokie.
This feels like an RPG written by Prince.
It does.
I feel like we should only play Prince music, which I think is allowed on Twitch.
I think it's one of the few branded music styles that you can just use.
That is 2 successes.
2 successes is enough for you to realize that as you have like lifted this guy into the air and he's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, in fact, I think you need a surge to do that, Petra, right? I mean, what's your
What?
normal strength?
Oh, I have no
2,
idea.
right?
I do have I have a 4 in strength, actually.
Oh,
You
wow.
do? Oh my god. Okay, so no, never mind. This guy isn't that he's like, wow. This woman is taking what she wants and he likes it, but then all of a sudden you hear from back in the doorway you came in from this voice go, Joey? Hey, Joey, you back there? And a guy kind of peeks out and he's wearing, the Harlequin mask over kind of, business casual. He's got like the Renaissance kind of like big phallic kind of like, girdle around. Like, what a hilarious joke. This guy's wearing like a big phallus on his waist. And he's holding 2 drinks and he's going, Joey? Hey, Joey? And he looks around the corner and he's about to see you and your prey. What are you going to do?
Is there any doors? Like, can I literally pull this dude into a room or something? Or is this a dead end?
I think that there are doors, right? We described it as a corridor, right? So if you can move quickly, you can kind of pull him away out of the way of his friend.
And I want to make it, I want this to still be sexy. I mean, she lifted him up, she's strong, but I want her to kind of manipulate, because I did use manipulation at first. I want to manipulate him into thinking, like, this is part of this role play thing we're doing. I'm an older woman, and I want to, like, spin him into a room and try to continue the action and not freak him out.
manipulation plus athletics.
Okay.
And the threat of getting seen right now is pretty high, so I need you to give me 3 successes on your manipulation plus athletics roll.
You gotta protect the masquerade.
But can it just look sexual? Like, is it? Or pretty obvious she's trying to buy this
it's less that it's less making it look sexual. Although that will happen if she succeeds. It's more like pulling a full-grown man down a hallway and into a door in a way that doesn't arouse his suspicion.
So
okay,
cool.
but get
Like
this.
sex with Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
She
but
just
get
gives
this.
off dominatrix vibes. It's fine.
Yeah, and I got 2 successes, and my die success, my normal success, is the one with the star, so it's 10, right?
That's a 10, so that's only 2, actually. Because unless you got 2 10s, you don't have a critical, so you got 2 successes. Do you want to spend willpower? Take a willpower damage to re-roll your failed dice. Okay,
Yeah,
go
I don't
for it.
want to fuck this up.
Come on, Sid! Huge roll.
Huge.
Okay. That is a success for my
Yes.
one fail.
Yes.
Okay, you like just as you describe, you kind of push him and then pull him, and it's like it's all like a dance, and then suddenly you guys are inside a small chamber where at one time they may have kept supplies. It looks like there are shelves where they would have kept maybe linens or something like that, and you guys are now crammed in this like little closet, and the guy's like right up against you, and he's like, "That's my friend, Steven." And he's going, "Joey? Hey, Joey!" And he's right outside.
And I'm like, Steven doesn't have to know.
That's right. He doesn't have to know. And you succeeded in getting this guy out of the way, and you succeeded in making it look good. So he's like, "You're right." And he just kind of leans into you, and you may go ahead and feed now. No roll necessary. How much blood are you taking from this guy?
Just a drop. Just needed to get that hunger back down to 1, and yeah.
Okay, you finished soon after, and he's like, he just thinks he's like making out with you. He doesn't quite realize that moment of ecstasy that you gave him when you fed. Like you feel like the blood pumping through you again. You feel alive for a moment. It's sort of orgasmic for you because it's like for a moment you're not this like cold dead thing. It's like the spark of inspiration for you, Petra, and then just like that it fades again. You're done feeding. Your hunger is down to 1, and he's looking at you, and he's a fool. He's like, "Wow."
Your friend Steven must really want to talk to you.
Right, yeah. And he opens the door out of this sort of linen closet, and Steven's standing right there with 2 drinks. And he's going, "Hi, Joe. Who's your friend?" And he comes inside. He's coming into the closet now. He was waiting. By the way, that took you like 5 minutes. He was just waiting outside the whole time.
Oh no.
Steven?
no.
Is Steven one?
Can I like do some sort of insight on Steven, see if I recognize him or like
Good idea. Why don't you give me an insight roll? Is a great idea. Would you like to give me a wits plus insight roll? Do you have any powers you'd like to bring to bear?
it's a good question.
Can I throw another
Powers
question?
would normally what you would use to maybe sense if someone was
Yeah, I'll do
Something.
aspect. I'll do heightened senses.
Jared,
Very good.
rules question. How much willpower has Sydney used versus her total willpower? And what happens when you match the 2?
I've used 2.
You've
Okay.
used 2, and
my
when you
4.
when you use up all your willpower, I'm gonna give you negative dice on every roll you make because you
so that's what it
become
is. Okay.
depressed or remorseful or suicidal. You like
That's cool.
lose your unlife finally gets to you. You know.
Okay.
So he's coming in like with the 2 drinks, and he's smiling like a leering grin, and he's like, "Introduce your friend." And you're using your heightened senses, right?
Yes. Yep. All right. So that's 4 successes.
Very good. Heightened senses, your senses like come on all at once, and you notice that this guy isn't his heart isn't beating faster at all. He's completely calm as he enters in like this, like grinning, and you see that he hands his friend Joey a drink, and Joey's like, I didn't get her name. And Steven like keeps walking in, smiling at you, and he's kind of like looking you over, and then he goes, "Let's fucking party, right?" And he screams it so loudly that I want you to know that what he's doing is not just screaming it, it's like he's added something to it. It's like there's like another layer on it, and it's also like he's about to roll a bunch of dice, Petra. It's like he's
dominating. He's dominating.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. You need to resist right now. You need to resist.
Fuck this guy.
With a resolve plus. You need to resist with a resolve and resolve plus composure. And I'm going to tell you something. Your aspects, the fact that you turned heightened senses on first, is going to give you -2 dice to that, because he is taking advantage of the fact that you turned all your senses all the way up to hurt you right now.
So I have no additional. I can't use any additional powers alongside my resolve and composure.
Unless you have, do you have anything called, like, you have no fortitude? I'm looking at your powers.
Yeah, I was gonna think fortitude.
No, I
maybe,
have
but...
clarity. I have presence.
Would you like to blood surge in order to maybe fortify your resolve and composure?
Obviously.
Tell me what that can do for me.
So you'll take a rouse roll like you did when you awaken to see if you get hungrier. Luckily, you just fed, so you're down to 1 hunger, and then you will pump blood into kind of like your determination for a moment, and you'll get extra. You'll get extra dice. You'll get 2 extra dice to your resolve plus composure roll right now.
Yes.
I'll do it. I'll do that. Hold on.
Blood surge. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
but
cool.
it's gotta have complications, right? Because you're using up a reserve that eventually, when you get to that,
well, there's a chance you get 1 more hunger if you do that.
Oh boy.
So I got a 6, which is a pass, right?
There you go. You're good.
Okay. So then I add 2 die. Thank goodness, because I was going 1 die, 1 hunger. Okay, let's see. 1 success.
1 success. Okay. Would you like to re-roll? So you added the 2 die for your blood surge, and did you get any hungrier?
No, I didn't get any hungrier, but I'm only rolling 3 dice plus my 1 hunger die. So yeah, I had 1 success from that.
Okay. I'm afraid he has just rolled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Ooh, that's
and what
a
he
lot.
is doing is creating, just to be clear, something supernatural is going on, because he is creating an auditory hallucination. When you hear his voice, it's like so loud, it's like making your like head feel like it's crushing in on yourself. And he's like, "Wow, could you be any more beautiful? Oh my God, wow, definitely some sort of artist, aren't we?" And his friend Joey is like, "Whoa, Steve, what are you doing?" And he like pushes Steven away, and he's like, "Yes." And
Flies across the room.
Petra, it's like
love of my life.
I love
every word he says is like echoing through your skull, and it's making like your bones kind of ache. And I'm gonna have to say, since he got 8 successes and you got 1, that I'm going to go ahead and have him. I think that what he has done here is he has done 2 more willpower damage to you, bare minimum.
Oh my God. That's
you are
gonna
now
take
at
her.
like 0 willpower.
I have no willpower. What does this mean?
Yes.
What is this
Permanently dead.
It means that
forever.
you are kind of vulnerable right now, and
I don't think this
moving in.
guy's
And the
name's
fact
on
is,
our list.
He just looks like
Yeah.
he looks like a normal guy, and he is like reaching toward you right now and coming in with his hand toward your face. And what are the other kindred doing? Have any of them noticed that Petra is missing?
I've activated Auspex just to kind of scan my environment to see where any kindred would be about, and hopefully I would recognize if Petra was in the vicinity.
would you hear that? Like that specific use of sound, like somewhere else on the ship? Would that register if you're using Auspex?
Yeah, are you using heightened senses, Valeska?
Yeah, I'm using heightened senses.
So for some reason, one person's voice is kind of like echoing through the ship just for only once you turn your heightened senses on, right? And if you give me a roll, you can kind of really zero in like with just your hearing sense, because heightened senses is a powerful tool, but it's hard quite to control it sometimes. You know, you feel, you smell, you taste, like you see, but we're gonna have Valeska try to like zero in with her auditory sense, and she needs to roll for me, if you don't mind. Your wits plus resolve.
Oh, come on.
Wits.
Come on.
Plus
Come on.
resolve plus Auspex.
Actually, give me just the wits plus resolve to focus it, and then it'll be automatic. Yeah, your aspects can be added to any perception roll you make after that.
Let's go, Valeska.
I rolled 3 successes.
That's what you needed. So you suddenly know exactly where to go. You can kind of follow his voice. He sounds like a mortal fool that another piece of meat that needs to be eaten is what he sounds like.
I'm holding up a slice of pizza from my tutu. I can't eat it, obviously, but I'm holding it up just to kind of blend in, and I'm like, hold my pizza. To
one of your
one of my
gladiators
minions
takes it.
And I literally just glide towards without making any eye contact whatsoever. Just like glide towards this situation.
Very good. Okay, so how about our other kindred? How about Dr. Malcolm Webster or Charles? Where are you? What are you doing?
I mean, Charles is just like sort of marveling at all this. He's disgusted by it. He's just like, he hates this. Yeah, I mean, I think if he has a chance to he would love nothing more than to beat the shit out of this guy who just messed with Petra. So if there's any chance that he knows that she's gone or could hear this, I would take that.
Give me a Wits plus Composure roll, and Malcolm, if you'd like to too, you could give me a Wits plus Composure roll.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to. All right, so I got 2 wits, 2 compose, 1
hunger. So replace
2
one.
hungy.
Oh yeah. So 4 dice pulled, 2 of which are hunger.
Gross.
All right, so I got 3 successes and 1 natural 1 on the hunger die.
Oh, okay.
Bestial. I got 1 success. Flat.
Well, because you got the successes, it's not a bestial failure, luckily, Charles. And how did you do 2 successes flat?
Just 1. One
Doctor?
success.
Oh, just 1? Well, I think that that is enough, because now suddenly your entire coterie starts noticing Valeska moving in a certain direction with sort of purpose.
Yeah.
And you're able with that Wits plus Composure to pick up the fact that Valeska isn't like, I'm just going to another part of the party. Valeska is going somewhere.
Right.
And when she goes by you, you're like, something's happening. And now you're trailing her. Charles is right behind Valeska. Malcolm, you're kind of getting through the party. You're having a little more trouble. Right. So now we come to a moment of truth. And the moment of truth is, this guy's going to roll his attack against Petra. Petra,
Whoa.
You can roll to resist, okay? But you're going to have -2, I think, because -2 dice, because he has completely destroyed your will. And I want a roll from my friend Valeska to see how quickly she gets there.
Oh my God.
The other 2 guys are not getting there as fast because they simply are following her.
There's too much crowd.
Yep.
It's like Mardi Gras.
It's just like Collateral.
Okay, let's see here.
Oh my God. Sydney, I hope you brought another character
This is
for next
brutal.
week.
I was not prepared. This is so brutal.
Of all the ones I thought that would bite it.
Here he goes. So I think for your resistance to what he's about to do, I think that what you can do is you can roll your Composure plus Resolve to resist him, Petra.
That ain't a lot of die, Jared. I'm going to tell you that right now, but I'll do my best.
He's going to roll, but let's see if Valeska gets there before, gets more successes than him, which I'm going to say Valeska gets there more quickly. Valeska, you can roll something that would allow you to get there quickly. What do you think Valeska's tactics are when she's in a situation like this?
Could I use celerity to move fast?
Oh, you absolutely could, Valeska. And I see that you have a celerity of 2, which means you definitely have at least fleetness, right?
Yeah.
Which is going to allow you to add your celerity dots to a dexterity plus athletics roll if you'd like.
All right. I got 7 with a critical.
So, how did you do on your
including
resistance?
the critical.
That's
How did you do on your resistance roll,
Ridiculous.
Petra? Because I want to let you know what you're resisting, right? This guy, he moves in really closely, and he's like smiling, and he's like, oh yeah, those are beautiful, yeah. And he's like drawing ideas out of your head, like legitimately, like you feel yourself like becoming like kind of like putty in his hands, like he's like pulling your will out. And while he's doing this for a moment, you see what he really looks like, and he switches from looking like Chandler Bing from Friends to suddenly looking like a creature that has like a crown of horns around his head that goes like down his back, and sharp, like filed off like demonic teeth. But you just get a flash of that as he's drawing off kind of the part of you that makes your art, the part of you that makes you you. He's just kind of like ripping your identity out, but he doesn't get very far because he only got 3 successes and Valeska got 7. So Valeska, before he actually does anything to Petra, how did your resistance roll go though? I just want to know.
I had 1 success.
So you would have taken like 2 like more damage to sort of your, I think he would have started making you hungry now that he's killed your willpower. He's like drawing out your soul, but Valeska, you're there before he does anything. And what do you do when you arrive?
So we haven't discussed, I mean, I took points in firearms, but we haven't discussed if I have any firearms. So what I would like to do instead is I will say I take off one of my custom Louboutin stilettos, which are like, is actually like a sharpened, very sharpened steel point.
Grant likes
And
this.
I would,
Grant's a big fan of this move.
if I'm sneaking up on him, if he doesn't see me, I want to grab him by the hair and stab it into his neck.
Oh, that's badass.
Would you like a blood surge for that, just to make it
Yes!
extra violent?
Blood surge!
Go ahead and
Who
rouse.
stabs with a shoe? Honestly,
Everybody!
you do. It's fucking awesome.
Go ahead and rouse if you'd like.
All right, I made it. Success.
Great. Add 2
Amazing.
dice to your strength plus melee roll that you're about to make. I see that
Can I do athletics?
to stab with a shoe. No, but I'm going to
Olympic
do you a
event for
giant. I'm
stabbing
going to
with
do
a
you a
shoe.
giant favor.
There
I'm
should
not
be.
going to, because
should
you
be.
roused, because you blood surged. I'm not going to give you the penalty for not knowing melee. Okay.
Okay,
So you're
all
going to
right.
get to roll your 4 dice. Now, here's the thing. He's going to roll to notice you. I'm going to take 2 dice off of what he rolls to notice people. I'm going to take 2 dice out of that pool. So
Okay.
if he gets more than you, he notices you before the heal goes in.
All right,
Here we go. How'd you do?
2 successes.
He got 1. So he's
Let's
so
go.
intent on he's so intent on Petra that he doesn't see suddenly Valeska come into the room and the heel goes into his neck and he's like, ugh, what the fuck, man? And he turns and there's like blood
Right in his
pouring
artery.
out of his neck. What are you doing?
Right in his artery.
Right in
Yes.
his artery. Yeah, sure. So there's like blood pouring out of his neck. But Petra, I can tell you that you are watching like a different version of him. For some reason, him using his powers on you has shown you his true self. And in his real form, he isn't like going, oh, I'm hurting. Oh. He's just like turning like the creature that he is, like smiling with like the crown of horns around his head and looking at everybody. And you're kind of sitting there like out of willpower, like in this weird daze, seeing what he really is. And that's when Charles and a little bit later Malcolm pull up to the door behind Valeska. and he's reaching for the heel, and he's yanking it out of his neck. And now let's go on a round by round. I want to know what everybody is doing.
Oh, he has my heel?
What's that?
He has my heel?
Well, he's pulling it out of his... Oh, do you still have it? You can still have it.
Okay, because I was going to get really mad.
Yeah, you need your weapon, of course. Your stiletto heel.
That's her shoe.
It's holding onto his neck.
trying to lick
He's
it.
holding onto his neck.
Yeah.
He's holding onto his neck. And what he sounds like he's going to start to do is talk to Valeska this round. That's all I'm going to tell you. But I can tell you that before he does that, he kind of like takes his hand off his neck, and that hole that you put there is gone.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, who are you? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you have pretty dreams too. And he starts talking to you. And now I want to know, what is Valeska going to do this round?
I'm going to reply with, I'm the one that's going to fill you with regret for the rest of your unlife.
Dr. Malcolm Webster, what are you going to do this round?
He's gonna say, like, stand down, but like, if anyone around would hear stand down, but what he hears in his mind is like, stand down!
Right.
And
Charles,
dominate.
the Badger, what are you going to do this round?
Charles is gonna cock his guns, Henry Cavill style. You're like,
great.
you like yelling, do you, boyo? Why don't you yell it for me?
I'm going to let Charles use this round to arm his guns, get them out and ready to fire. I'm going to let Malcolm Webster, you need to roll it sounds like you were using Dominate, right?
yeah.
So roll, it sounds like you're using Compel, stand down is what you're telling him. So Compel is your level 1 Dominate power where you just have to say one word. You don't have to rouse to use it. Please roll Charisma plus Dominate. Valeska, are you just kind of talking to him for a moment?
Yeah, can I, I'm just looking at refreshing what presence, if I could make him just stand in his tracks for a second.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility, right? You want to use your powers against him? That's a good idea.
Yeah, just to kind of, knock him off of his strategy here.
Okay, very good. So which power are you using?
Let's see, for presence.
You have presence.
Yeah.
And you could use a level 2 power. I think that would make sense.
Yes.
Because the level 1s are sort of just adding to your social successes. And
Right,
how
so I'm trying to
about,
see what
let's
the
go
level
with,
2 is.
I think you have, let's see. Presence.
not
Well, you
played
could daunt
Toreador
him,
for-
or you could, yeah, that's about all you have as an option. but-
Daunt?
Yeah, you
Yeah, I could
would roll intimidation and you would add your presence dots.
Yes, I could do that.
Okay, great. He's doing something too, and I'll let you know what it is. Because in this game, you all roll at once and then see how it all kind of... Oh, and I forgot. I'm so sorry. Petra. What is Petra doing? She's not out of it. She just has taken, she just has a -2 to a lot of rolls right now, but she can do something. What would she like to do?
Yeah, I was thinking she's going to take some of her martial arts background. She actually is a very swift person, despite her appearance of age in her human form. But she wants to kick in the back of one of his kneecaps as she elbows down his shoulder to try to get him onto the ground.
Yes.
Great. Give me a good old-fashioned dexterity plus brawl roll.
Hell yeah.
So is everybody ready to roll? Because he's going to roll what he's... Yeah.
Is there an attribute that I add to the intimidation and presence?
Yes. You can add your charisma or manipulation if you'd like.
I will add charisma.
I'll let you choose.
Charisma, I got the most dots in. Let's do this. Oh, whoops, one of those has to be blood die.
Okay. How did you do Valeska? I want to know Valeska first.
I got 4 successes.
4 successes. Okay, great.
So I'm hoping to get him into a deer in headlight situation so everybody else can be like, wah, 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 wah.
Okay, yeah. And okay, so that's great. How about you, Malcolm Webster? How'd you do?
All right, so Jared, this is obviously the first time we've ever played this game, and I am a
course.
mark. I'm a mark for a good time, and this is a good fucking time.
Good time, man.
Thank you.
And so
time.
I am like, it's funny because we did character creation last week and we're learning the ropes, and then we jumped in. I was just like, I just want to see how this unfolds, and I've been thinking about it all week. And now over the course of the last 2 hours, I'm like, the penny has dropped at the bottom of the fountain. I'm like, oh my God, this is a great system for streaming.
Yeah.
And so it's young Terrence Stamp. He's as beautiful as the day is long. I rolled 3 10s, so that's a super crit. So 7 successes, and I rolled a beast, a skull on one of my hunger die. But like, I assume the successes overtake that. So like, he walks in and he's just like, or whatever. Like, he is just in it the minute he walks in, like a fucking vampire would be.
Yes.
It's a vampire fight.
Is that a messy critical if it's just one hunger die crit? Is that...
Oh, yeah. So did you get a 10 on both of 2 hunger die or just
3.
one?
No, I got 3 10s, and they were all on black die. And then I had one
failure
skull.
on the natural one. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a crit. And
Nice.
it's a messy critical too. So I'll tell you. And how many successes did you get again, Valeska? I just want to make sure I rule this all
4.
correctly. 4. Okay. So Valeska, you use Daunt on him, and suddenly you become like horrifying, and suddenly Malcolm becomes horrifying as well. Like, he was like doing this thing where he transformed into this like creature in front of Petra and like kind of horrified her and like broke her will, and he turns around and there are 3 even worse predators waiting for him. And suddenly all at once you all bring you open your eyes, the beast kind of stares out of them. And Petra, you can make your roll right now. Meanwhile, Charles is just like getting a bead on him. Petra, how did your roll go?
When I say cocking guns, I meant like in Mission Impossible, Henry Cavill. Like,
Yes,
getting,
the
like,
fists.
Yeah, the
I
fist is
know
like,
exactly
yeah, now I'm
what
gonna
you're
fight. He's the
Oh, okay, great.
hand in hand.
Perfect.
yeah.
How did your roll go, Petra?
Yeah, you hear Petra from behind him. He's not paying attention to her now, looking at the other people, and she goes, yeah, I am an artist, and you just fucked with the wrong one, and I got 2 successes.
Oh, that's amazing. So,
Boom.
and then I'm just going to allow Charles to roll I didn't realize by guns you meant your muscles. So you may go ahead and roll a strength plus brawl roll as well. Everybody has crowded into this room, and you've got this guy up against the wall, and he just whispers something to Valeska before he kind of falls to his knees, like completely cowed by both of you. He stands down. He's not fighting. Petra has knocked him off his feet. He falls to the ground. Charles comes in and can just start. How did you do on your roll, Charles?
4 successes.
Yeah, Charles is already
baby.
beating the shit out of him because the guy stopped fighting. Like, the second that Dr. Malcolm Webster and the second that Valeska were like, stand down, he just kind of like goes like this, and Petra knocks him off his feet, and Charles just starts like beating the shit out of him. And he just says one thing. He says like, I just thought she was beautiful. And when he says that, suddenly, Valeska, you feel like something kind of come loose inside of you, because his power, your power worked, but so did his. He just used dementation on you. Suddenly, your clan compulsion is coming to the fore.
What? What?
Yes. The Toreador become obsessed with things that are beautiful. When their clan and they can focus
Like
on
Dr.
nothing
Malcolm
else.
Webster?
Perhaps, or I'll actually allow Valeska to choose. But he's kind of like unlocked whatever is inside of your blood that kind of compels you. That sort of like that clan lineage, and now you must become obsessed with something beautiful at the exclusion of all else. And I know exactly what it is that you become obsessed with, my friend. Unless you have a different idea.
Is it Petra?
It can be if you'd like, but Joe.
Please tell me.
Joey,
Tell me
his
what.
friend, is gone. Where did he go? He just saw you all using strange powers. He's been fed on by one of the kindred, and the door is kind of swinging.
Oh no.
You were supposed to find poachers, and this guy is a strange sort of poacher, some kind of psychic vampire, but you forgot that you're also not supposed to reveal your existence to anybody. And the beautiful blood doll that Petra was feeding on has just run out the door.
Can I just, with celerity, just nope out of there and bolt after this beautiful baby?
Give me a rouse roll, because I think if you're using fleetness, it costs a rouse roll. And then give me a wits plus awareness roll.
All right.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
All right. There's a 5 dice pool. Oh, wait, one of those has to be blood
The
dice.
stakes are so real.
I know.
So to speak.
3 successes.
Let's
Ooh.
go.
You see him from across the pulsing crowd. It's completely silent out there. Over the heads, you see him running down the gangplank back into Philadelphia, tearing off his matador mask, running, and Valeska, you must have him. You must possess him.
So here's what I want to do. If I'm just bolting towards him, what I want to do is like a gymnastics horse, kind of like you do like a pole vault kind of thing. I want to do that, but wrap my thighs around his neck and just dig into his neck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's have that roll be the last roll of the night. Give me a Dex plus Athletics roll. Add your fleetness. Add your 2 celerity dots.
Wow.
But in order to do something that crazy, Valeska, you got to give me 4 successes.
Okay.
Oh, it's the final roll.
I'm going to spend all my willpower on this if I have to. All right, I got 3 successes, and you said I needed 4?
4.
All right. I'm going to spend willpower, and I did get 1. So you get 4.
Okay. So, final. Here's where we end for tonight. Charles is just beating the shit out of Steven, whatever Steven is. He's not one of the kindred, so how will you prove to the prince that you've caught someone? Think about that, everybody. Malcolm Webster and Petra are kind of, moving out into the party, and they watch as Valeska, her pizza dress, fluttering weirdly in the wind, rushes down the gangplank at incredible speed, leaps, wraps her legs around young Joseph, the earlier person who's been fed on already, and bites her teeth in. But unfortunately, the gangplank isn't hidden from the party.
Oh no.
Steven's power awakened the hunger of Valeska. He made her obsessed, and now she's feeding in full view of a party full of people.
That's not good. That's frowned
And she
upon.
used super speed. You guys are truly, that was amazing play, but goddamn, you're really in trouble now.
We are fucked right now. We fucked the masquerade.
So is that
fucked
bad
the Masquerade.
to fuck the masquerade?
Did we do bad?
Yeah, you might have. Well, I don't know. You didn't do bad in terms of playing your characters to the hilt, but in terms of getting in trouble with the new prince and the Camarilla higher-ups, you might have done bad. Or at least
Little screwed.
Or at least Valeska has. Perhaps it's time for you to bring Camarilla justice against her.
Oh no.
PvP is a thing.
No, don't,
Oh, no.
Jared. No.
I'm too pretty to die.
I'm so sorry, Valeska.
She's got pizza. I don't want to
I
do this.
offered you pizza.
You'll have to play one of your entourage next week. After
You
we
all have plenty of time to
Kill you.
think about this.
I'll come back as
because,
Skylar if I die.
We are going to end with Valeska's strong, supple legs clotheslining this man as her teeth sink into his shoulder. and a crowd watches, gasping and pulling out their phones.
Oh my God!
It's a show. We're
That's
putting
the
on a
end of the
show.
session.
It's fine.
It's the worst.
Yeah, it's fine. We're fine.
It's the worst. It could happen.
Grant, where did you get?
Grant brought one of his shoes.
Hold on, I'm looking through
I
the
have
rule
follow-up
book for
questions,
stiletto
Grant.
high heel.
Yeah, what damage does that do?
Page 336.
I believe
I
that's an
looked it up
improvised
earlier.
weapon.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're gonna have to kill her.
It's too bad you're gonna have to stake Valeska and leave her out for the sun, but maybe that'll get you in the good graces of the prince, and you won't have the prime hunting ground taken away from you.
Win-win.
Listen, this prince is a sham. I got more people on it.
Don't worry, Petra has many ideas. Once I get my head right, head really hurts right now.
I want to thank these incredible players and the Glass Cannon for letting me run this game. I can't wait to see what the fallout of this hunt will be next week. Troy LaValle, Nora Ibrahim, Sydney, Emmanuel, and Skid Maurer. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Grant Berger, for helping us with the beautiful DJing skills, among other things. Until next time, stay out of the sun. Use plenty of SPF 50. And, if you happen to be a blood-sucking beast, maybe don't show a party full of people that.
And now
Unless it's good
And
drama.
now we know.
Unless it's good drama, in which case, go for it. Thank you, guys. That's tonight's session.
Thank you.
Right.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Jen.
Right.
See you soon.
Oh man, we're screwed.
We're so screwed.